again. I'm live. Yeah, I'm not dead, I'm live. Oh, I'm not sure what's going on here. Earlier, I wasn't really getting any kind of a signal, I don't reckon. It just suddenly stopped transmitting. It kept trying to say it was reconnecting, and then it never did. Anyhow, and then the, pardon all the noise here while I try to get this phone situated just right. Then the Facebook thing, I'm not even sure what's up with that. I don't do Facebook, and I've got 2 messages from a 5-digit number, which is usually from Straight Talk, and telling me my Facebook code is this and this and that and that. I'm like, the same message twice. I don't understand what that's all about. So apparently I'm being hacked on Facebook, which I could care less. I don't use it. The last time I've posted anything myself, now if someone has gotten into my account and started using it for their own good, whatever. Last time I posted anything was when I posted I was getting engaged to my current wife 5 years ago. That's how long it's been since I've been on my Facebook account. So anyhow, so y'all just hang tight. Miss Shelby's wanting out, so I need to take her for a walk. We are in Carthage, Texas, so we're just a little ways south of Shreveport, and I'm 3 hours from my destination. By the time I get done with the puppy and get back on my way, my logbook is current, of course, and we will be trailer trucking 3 more hours to my destination in El Dorado, Arkansas. So, anyhow, are we ready to go outside? To go soccer pee? Huh? To go outside? Tell me, are you gonna go out? Usually she's barking up a storm by now. To go outside. There we go. That's a hell, not just yes, but hell yes, Daddy. Take me outside. So, all right, y'all. Let me take care of the baby, and we will roll. And I have found a way, just so y'all know, I will have my music going the next time around. So hang tight. Be right back. Here I come. Yeah, trailer trucking. Woohoo! There you go, Shelby. Is you ready to go? We are at the Gateway Truck Stop in Carthage, Texas. Getting ready to head up to Shreveport. I'd have usually waited till I got to that relay station I was talking about in one of my earlier streams here, and gone inside there, got something to eat. But all the Cajun food will have been consumed, and until morning, whatever time in the morning they'll put out the breakfast biscuits and all that stuff. Then after that is when they'll start putting out the Cajun food. So I figured this is as good a place as any. I needed to make a quick stop anyway. So this works.
Turn right. US 59 northbound towards Shreveport.
Right here, the truck route for 59 and 79 intersect. Then on the other side of the bypass, it'll split. We'll end up jumping off of 59, getting on 79.
After 2 miles, take the exit right, US 79 northbound, towards Shreveport.
Excuse me. Lola, which is the name I affectionately give my GPS. Every GPS or Google Maps or whatever I'm using for navigation, I call it Lola. Which, if you saw Robin Williams in the movie RV, now know where I get that idea from. But as I was saying right before I took Shelby out for a walk, I finally went out and I bought me a little deal that will allow me to run my cell phone charger, power cord for my GPS unit, and the power cord for my, what I call my iPod phone. It's not really an iPod, it's a former Galaxy Nexus that no longer gets used as a cell phone. It was a Verizon phone. It still works and everything, I just no longer have a contract with Verizon. So it's basically a paperweight. But I can still use the camera on it. I can still record video. The only thing is if I record video on it,
Take the exit right, US 79 northbound, towards Shreveport. Then, turn right.
if I record video on it, I just can't upload the video to YouTube like I can with my cell phone. I'm trying to get to where instead of uploading things directly from my phone, I'm trying to get to where I upload them to the computer first to do some editing, add an introduction.
Take the exit right, then turn right.
Remove a lot of the excessive chit chat.
After 700 feet, turn right, US 79 northbound, East Summit Street. Turn right.
And then the thing is, the damn GPS is not done talking. The minute I make my turn, then it'll say, continue for so many miles. It's like, there's nowhere to, once you make this turn, there's nowhere to turn off of this road till you get to the interstate. I mean, there's like little FM routes, but there's no way you can accidentally turn on the wrong road. So come on, Stevens, wake up. And what the hell? No idea what he's doing up there. I don't know what he was waiting for, because there's no traffic. You're allowed to turn on red as long as there's no sign saying you can't. Damn rookie drivers. There's a reason the voice on the GPS is almost always a woman. Man, she likes to hear herself talking. On Google, it talks so much, sometimes I get so frustrated with it, mute it. I get tired of hearing it. Deal just now when I was at the gateway. Of course, if the mama watches this later, because she's asleep right now, I got you something. Yes, it's one of your critters. Anyway, I need to show y'all next time I get to the house what I do for the mama. Little way of letting her know I think about her while I'm out here on the road. Anyhow, I bought a little deal. It's like kind of like a power strip you'd have at the house with like several different plugs. Except it's made for 12 volts instead of 120. And the only thing is, I was really wanting to find something that had like one cigarette lighter type plug or 12 volt power plug and 3 or 4 USBs. Instead, it's got one USB with 3 12 volt power plugs, you know, like cigarette lighter plugs. But that's okay, because I can take the usual 12 volt adapters that you have that you plug in, and then you can use your USB to plug your phone into that. So I can just get 2 of those and they'll do the same thing. Because the only thing I need for I actually need one of those round 12 volt sockets is for my defogger fan that I've got blowing on the windshield. So I've got the USB that's built into that little power strip. Plus, I'll put another USB adapter into one of those sockets. The fan adapter into one of those sockets, and it'll still be one socket empty. So that way I can run my GPS, my cell phone, and my, for all intents and purposes, iPod, all off that same power strip. That way I can go back to listening to music as I drive down the road and give y'all something to listen to other than me just talk. Of course, the thing of it is, I can't play it too loudly, because then there would be copyright crap that I've had an issue with, as I explained in the previous stream of driving down the road listening to a CD that I had purchased, playing an AC/DC song while I was recording video, and they went ahead and they didn't strike the video, they didn't remove it, they just simply muted it. Of course, they can't just mute because it's a video. They can't just mute the music. They muted the entire. So the entire video, you didn't hear nothing. You didn't hear the engine. You didn't hear the tires rolling, occasional vehicle passing me, or whatever else. There was no sound at all. It'd be like you're watching this video of a guy driving down the road in a big rig with the volume turned off. But I've noticed a lot of people, one is Benny Loco. I like, Benny is not everybody's cup of tea, and I'm sure she knows that, and she seems pretty comfortable with who she is and all, so I'm pretty sure she doesn't really mind that she's not everybody's cup of tea. But I think she's funny. I think she's a great personality, and the very first stream of hers I ever happened to catch, I forget whose stream I was on, and I saw her there. And a lot of people, what they're doing in their live streams, and I guess I need to do it too, because a lot of y'all who keep coming back, I appreciate you, I really truly do. And the whole idea is, nobody has a YouTube channel and says, well, I don't really care if it grows or not, I'm not really trying to make it grow, I just want my presence on YouTube. Nobody says that. Everybody builds their YouTube channel with the hope that it will grow into something better, into something bigger. And whether they're trying to become monetized or not everybody, like Witch on Wheels, I subscribe to Witch on Wheels. And Witchy has said she has no intention of trying to become monetized because, for one, especially with the new 1,000, let's just say followers, because you're not allowed to use the S word no more. Ain't that funny? You have 1,000 folks following you and 4,000 hours of views. Now 4,000 views in itself is a pretty hefty order to try to fill. But no, 4,000 hours. That's a lot of folks watching. So it's not enough to have someone tune into your videos, but you actually have to be able to retain them. You have to be able to keep them for a while. Now it's 4,000 hours per year. So even if, let's say the first 2 years, once you finally reach your 1,000 required subscribers, there I said the S word. So once you finally reach that, and let's say you maintain that easily, it's not like, okay, I've got my 4,000 hours in there, I've had people watch my videos for 4,000 hours, so now I become monetized. To stay monetized, you have to get 4,000 hours per year. And that takes some doing. You gotta keep your content fresh. You've got to learn to get better at it, like what I'm doing right now. If I was going to keep doing this at night like I'm doing, well, I have to. The main reason I'm doing this, though, isn't for entertainment value. The main reason I'm doing this is so that if some idiot gets a little road rage on me, that I can prove that they did a brake check, locked them up in front of me, and I had nowhere to go. And that way, if they try to tell the cops, oh, this guy was tailgating me, he was an aggressive driver, yada, 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 I'll have something to prove otherwise. And my wife and I were talking about this. At first, the guy who done me this way a week or two ago, I think it was last week, I was bobtailing, mentioned this before, and come around me on my right side, slid right in front of me and locked him up. And he's smart enough not to, like, I guess I locked him up. Came to a very abrupt stop. Done a brake check in front of me, but he didn't lock him up because otherwise he'd skidded. The idea is not to leave rubber on the asphalt, because because now you've just proven that you were driving aggressively and attempting road rage on the guy behind you by doing that brake check and leaving black rubber marks on the pavement for where you had to lock your brakes up. So he was smart enough not to lock them up, and I had all I could do to keep from hitting it. I mean, I was bobtail and I mean, weight on my drives. Fortunately, a brand new rubber, brand new brakes. Literally, the truck hadn't hardly been driven since they put brand new brakes on it. So, you know, they were. I think I took it up to Millington, Tennessee, and back out of Memphis, which is like 30 miles each way, and that was it. Just basically enough to take the glaze off the drums and shoes. You know, get where the surfaces all kind of made real good, and that with the brand new tires. You know, I was able to stop to avoid that guy. But had my tires been worn, or had the pavement been wet, had my brakes not been, you know, adjusted good and snug for being a brand new brake job, I'd have clobbered him. Now, for trying to clobber him, I wouldn't have been able to stop in time. So, but no big deal. His little Chrysler Sebring would have stopped me. No faster than I was going. And so I realized that all it would take is something like that for that guy to tell the cops that I was, you know, trying to be like a demon trucker, trying to run him off the road, or who knows what. If someone makes some kind of a false claim like that, I could end up in jail. Guilty till proven innocent, something when it comes down to road rage. And but like I've said in previous streams, I can't afford the kind of system that you really need to have in a big rig. It's not enough to have a camera facing forward like what I'm doing right now. That's not enough. Because you still got people who come at you from the side. I had a guy pass me in the median one day on a 70-mile-an-hour interstate, Mississippi, I-55 northbound, a little ways north of Jackson, Canton, right around that way. And the dude was trying to pass me because I got in the left lane in front of him, and plenty of time that he could have slowed down so that I wouldn't be in any way creating an unsafe situation for three vehicles that were on the side of the road, with the three drivers of those vehicles standing beside one of them, right there by the white line. So of course, what most of us do, truckers and car drivers both, is we'll move over the left lane, get past the people on the shoulder, and then move back to the right. The guy didn't want to wait until I got past him, or get past them, people get out of his way. So he decided, instead of passing me on the right, which at least is still unsafe, but it would have fared better for him, he gets in the median trying to pass me in the grass. Now, I don't know if he hit a pothole or the grass was real tall, so I don't know if maybe there was something in the grass that he ran over. I'm not certain. Whatever it was, when he hit it, it threw him, literally threw him into the interstate, and he bounced off of my trailer. He bounced off the side of my trailer. He bounced off the side of my trailer, and then wound up getting thrown back into the median, into those cables that are all held up every so far with posts, and you know they're stretched real tight. He got wrapped up into that there like an airplane getting caught in barbed wire. And it's actually kind of neat to see in my rearview mirror. But meanwhile, he's trying to tell the cop that he was in the left lane. He wasn't. He came up behind me and merged into the median, and then commenced to accelerate, trying to overtake me while he was in the grass. And his front-wheel drive 97 sedan DeVille didn't handle that real well. So what he didn't count on was a witness that was going to pull over. Now here's the deal, I'm not racist, but because I'm white, if there was to be a colored fella who was lazy and I was to call him lazy, the truth is, you know, it is what it is, suddenly I'd be labeled a racist. So nonetheless, this fellow with the Cadillac wasn't counting on the fact that the witness, who was also black, was a very devout Christian woman, and to quote her, she said after talking with that fella, by the time I got pulled over past them trucks that was on the side of the road, walked all the way back there about a half mile, and he walked away after accusing me of running him off the road like that. I didn't talk to her because I didn't want in any way to be accused of trying to, taint the witness. But she said, well, I don't care what he says, I ain't lying for nobody. So I'm not quite sure what, he was apparently coaching her what to say. And it was apparently an out-and-out lie, because she said, I ain't lying for nobody. Why would you bring that up except for whatever he was trying to tell you being a lie? So she was real nice. She asked me if I was okay and everything. I said, yeah, just got involved in an accident. My nerves kind of rattled right now. And then I just walked away because I didn't want to be accused of, even if that was all I said, but even that he could have took and said, hey, that guy was trying to turn the witness against me. But nothing more ever come of that, so I'm assuming between her testimony and the fact that he refused to have any kind of medical treatment, the ambulance come out there, they're going to take him to the hospital, look him over. I'm assuming, based on the condition of his car, he probably was on some form of a fixed income, and nothing against y'all on fixed income, but you know that there's some people who take that stuff for granted. They abuse the privilege of it, and there's some people who are on it that don't need to be on it, but they do so because they don't want to actually go work for a living. And I figure he's figuring if he had to pee in a cup and piss dirty, he might lose whatever benefits he's got. So he called one of his buddies and took off right when the cops got there. He gave them what little bit of information that they wanted, got in the car, and they all left. So meanwhile, my story and the witness's story matched. So I didn't get any trouble out of that. 2 wrecks in the same year. Okay, one obviously being very severe. The other one could have been. That's the thing this guy don't get. He could have got that car turned upside down when he hit them wires, or who knows what, he could have got killed. I was doing 72 miles an hour. 70, maybe, I don't know. The speedometer said 74, but I believe that was 72. And, you go bouncing off a big rig at that speed that you're passing in the grass. That means you're doing 75 to 80 miles an hour to overtake me in the grass. Which the median ain't flat, it's sloped. So I'm surprised it threw him into the side of my trailer. If being sloped, I'd have figured it would have just thrown him back into the middle. But so yeah, it's not enough to have a camera facing forward like what I've got right here. I need something shining down both sides. And that's 3 cameras being recorded by one device that I can at a later time upload into the computer and do whatever I need to do with it. But meanwhile, for the protection of being able to prove myself innocent of any false accusations another driver would make claims after getting involved in an accident. But for now, this will have to do, because the main problem isn't on the sides, although the side is an issue, and it could be a costly issue in just the certain type of situation. The main issue is people sliding in front of you and then slamming on the brakes. And so for now, this will do. Because even with the windshield mount type of dash cams, you can look at it on that itty small little screen. The screen's like 1.5 inches, 1 3/4 inches, something like that. It ain't real big. But you're limited on that. To be able to do anything to save that, you still have to upload it to your computer. It's going to take memory and all this other stuff. With this, it's not using any of the data on my phone. I mean, it's using data because of my internet, but I've got unlimited data, unlimited talk, unlimited text. It's a straight talk phone. So, but it's not using any of the memory, any of the RAM or whatever the storage is on my phone. To do this, it doesn't use any of that. And when I'm done, just go ahead and save it, and it automatically uploads to YouTube. that I could go back to later. Say for example, God forbid that I was to be involved in a wreck where someone got in front of me and slammed on the brakes. I wouldn't just automatically go ahead and end it right there. I would just leave it. Because meanwhile, it's going to record I'll stay close to my driver's door, keep the window rolled down, and that it'll keep recording any conversation as well. That way, anything that person says, that even if that contradicts what they tell the cop when the cop finally shows later, that's going to all the more prove them to be a liar. And then what I'll do is when the cop gets there, and I'll tell him that, oh, by the way, I know that guy's saying this, that, and that, but I've got all this on video if you want to see it. And then I'll go ahead and finish it and let it upload itself to YouTube. It doesn't. I had one the other night. It was like 3 hours long, 3.5 hours, and it still didn't take maybe 10 minutes to upload itself and finish the processing to become viewable. So, it's going to take everybody 15-20 minutes to investigate an accident. So once that cop's been advised of that, and I go ahead and post the video, he's still got other things to do while the video is processing, the stream is processing. And then when it's done, I can go ahead and get the phone showing right up to the point where he arrives. There he is walking around in front of the truck, so it's obvious that it's not a previous recording from another day, you see. Because it doesn't really have, or maybe I just don't know how to see that information, but it doesn't have a timestamp to the best of my knowledge. It doesn't say that this video was posted at such and such a time on such and such a day. All it says is streamed 20 minutes ago, streamed 3 hours ago, streamed 2 days ago, streamed 4 months ago. That's all it says. So, but this way, if you leave the camera running right up to the point where the cop arrives on the scene, and of course he's going to be looking at the front of the truck and the back of the car and looking at the damage and everything else. So then I save the video, and here he is in the video investigating the accident. Kind of obvious when it happened, because his report will have the time on it. But that way I can protect myself in the event of road rage, which is a serious problem for truckers. Because you get a lot of people, we're slow, and it pisses them off because we're slow, and they decide to, they're in such a big hurry, they want to get around you and get up down the road, but all of a sudden, no matter how big of a hurry they're in, they still have the time to mess with you first. Man, that dude's headlights were running. Oof. So anyway, the plan for now is to just keep doing this, and like now there's nobody here, and by the time I get where I'm going, I'm 2 hours and 40 minutes away from my destination. If by the time I get there there's been nobody interacting with this, I'll just go ahead and delete it, as long as it's uneventful, so nothing happens on the way up there. In the daytime, I probably won't be as quick to delete them, because there's still going to be some good scenery, since the sun will be shining. You can actually see. Whereas here at night, you can only see as far as the headlights shine, unless I'm where there's street lights. That Stevens driver that was back there at the ramp at Carthage, his left headlight is out. So he's blinding every one of these oncoming vehicles, as well as me, anytime I go to look in my rear view mirrors with his high beams on. So he won't get a ticket for having a headlight out. Instead of just going to the truck stop, paying $13, get a headlight bulb, and turn the receipt into the company to get reimbursed. Now granted, these new HD headlights are kind of a pain sometimes to replace. This place here on my left, this is that relay station I usually stop at. Get me some boudin, some crawfish pies. Yum, 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 yum. But anyhow, they are a pain. But man, when you're blinding people, especially on a pitch black dark night like this, when it's raining and light kind of refracts off the water, man, you're creating an unsafe situation for everybody that you come upon with those dead bright lights. He don't care. Y'all probably can't see it right there, my shadow in the trees. That's how bright his lights are. Destination, which El Dorado, Arkansas. I know about where I'm going. I've never been to this particular location before, but I know about how to get there. El Dorado is kind of in the center as far as looking from the left state line, the westmost state line to the eastmost state line. It's a little east of center, not very far north of the Louisiana state line at all. Somewhere in the general area. Shut up, Lola, I'm talking here. Somewhere in the general area, Monroe, Louisiana. Stone's throw away from there. Straight north, slightly to the left, slightly to the right. Somewhere in that general area. But, when I get there, I'm gonna go ahead and hook up my power cord and all, and then I just bought, get my music playing. Anyway, I was about to say though, Mini Loco, I had a lot of fun one day. Now she doesn't always do this, but a lot of times she'll have the radio going on in the background. Just a little something to fill the dead silent spots with, you know. And one day, I don't know if she's listening to a radio station or if she just had a CD playing, or years ago how we used to do, we'd record stuff off the CDs onto a cassette, play the cassettes over and over and over. But anyway, however she was doing this, she had some really groovy old classic rock playing. And I was playing Name That Tune, and at first she hadn't even caught it, and I don't think anybody caught it at first.
Take the exit right. 20 eastbound, then take the freeway.
But every time a great old song come on that I hadn't heard in a long time, I'd go ahead and post down there the name of the song and who sang it, and her live stream. And she had some really awesome music playing that day. So, but anyway, yeah, I'll have my music going. Woohoo!
Take the exit right, then take the freeway.
I'll have my music going here later today, which will be perfect accompaniment for driving down the road where you can actually see the scenic views at the same time. I'll just have to make sure I don't have the music playing too loudly so that we don't have Sony claiming copyright infringement. It's like one company has a monopoly on every piece of music ever written. How the hell is that possible? Listen to that. To quote Patrick Swayze from the movie Black Dog, ain't nothing runs like a Caterpillar engine. Oh, yeah. Tim the Tool Man Taylor would agree. All right. So we are on I-20. Shreveport is directly in front of us. That's Greenwood we just left. Actually, it's still kind of Greenwood right here where this TA is. And like I said, somewhere around Monroe, maybe a little bit before, maybe a little bit after, but somewhere in the general vicinity of Monroe, I'll cut north. Once I've gotten on the other side of Shreveport, working my way on up into Arkansas. I tell Miss Elaine all the time, Arkansas. And she's like, it's not Arkansas, it's Arkansas. I said, oh, so Toto, I don't think we're in Kansas anymore. How is that? Arkansas and Kansas, other than the AR, are spelt the same, but pronounced differently. It's like, you know, I've heard all my life, I've always heard that English is the easiest language to learn. It's easier to come to this country speaking whatever language a person speaks coming from the country that they've originated from. It's easier for them to learn English than it is for us to go to another country and learn a foreign language other than English. And I don't know how that is, because we have too many exceptions to the rule in the English language. For example, if you go to school, the teacher will teach you whatever the subject at hand is, math, science, history, literature, whatever. When you go home, mom's going to say, so what did you learn today? You say, well, the teacher teaches me English. No. The teacher taught me English. Okay? Now you go to church on Sunday, Wednesday night, whenever, and the preacher is going to preach a sermon, a message, whatever, depending on your faith, whatever you want to call it. So when you come home from church, and mom's going to say, so what did you learn today in church? You're not going to say, well, the preacher taught on the subject of. No, he preached. The preacher preached, not praught, but the teacher taught, not teached. Oh, yeah. And that's just one such example. The English language is full of such exceptions to the rule. I before E, except after C. But that's not always the case either. I before E. Really? How do you spell 8? How do you spell freight? Exceptions to the rule. A lot of exceptions to the rule in the English language. I'm glad I'm not an English teacher trying to teach someone from another country. Sleepy. Earlier, I was set up to arrive at my destination at 5 a.m. And now, after having stopped back there at the gateway for 30 minutes, that puts me now arriving at my destination at 5:30. And that's still good time. I'll get there. Of course, once I leave Shreveport and Monroe, there won't be any large enough cities after that to worry about rush hour traffic. But I'll be arriving at my destination before there's going to be rush hour traffic anywhere in the Central Time Zone. So that's what I wanted to do yesterday on my way into Baytown. But I just got sleepy, couldn't do it. So. Right now it's saying 2.5 hours. Oh, these wipers are getting annoying. The problem is with these older Kenworths, the newer ones I'm pretty sure you can get wiper blades, it'd be fine. But these here, the wiper blades actually have a small little kind of a machine screw, which is basically a bolt with a slot instead of a Phillips head in it. And the only place you can get the wiper blade refills is at the Kenworth dealer. I'm doing 70. I need to slow down. The speed limit is slightly less than that.
Follow Interstate 20 eastbound towards Monroe for 7 miles.
Get there 5:30. I'll go ahead and pull all my straps and chains off. Go ahead and take a nap for a couple hours till they come in to unload me. This thing does pretty good. I'm recording with a Galaxy S5. I'm not one of these people that, even if I could afford it, which I cannot, but even if I could, I'm not one of these people that every time a new phone comes out, go ahead and upgrade. That's just a waste of money. Because 9 times out of 10, the phones are identical year after year, except for 1 or 2 new options. Now, yeah, here lately they've been getting bigger, but I wouldn't want one of the bigger ones anyway, because I didn't like stepping up from the Galaxy Nexus, which I felt was just the perfect size, up to this phone. The Galaxy S5 isn't a whole lot bigger than that. It's bigger, but not a lot bigger than the Nexus. But the Galaxy, the Galaxy 10 now, iPhone 10, all them, they've gotten bigger still. Now, sure, if you're watching movies and stuff all the time on your phone or playing video games, maybe that larger screen really means something to you. But I'm content. I've gotten used to this. I'm content with this screen. I about live on YouTube, and not because I'm a YouTube creator, which I don't go around saying that like, you know, I'm all that. I create YouTube videos. I post them. I create videos, post them to YouTube, therefore I make the YouTube creator. Whoop-de-doo, you know. Not like, you know, y'all hear me talk about Chrome Valdez a lot. It's one of my favorite channels to follow. And, you know, he quit his job to make basically short films. His videos, with the editing he does and everything, his videos are in fact short films, short stories about what's going on in his day. And so when he refers to himself as a filmmaker, he really is. I mean, there's no actual film anymore. You're not really filming anything. You're digitally recording. But that's like when a married couple goes somewhere and the guy says, "Yeah, I bought a new sofa for my wife, and it's pink." And the wife chimes in and says, "It's not pink, it's mauve." I hate people that do that. The mauve is a shade of pink. Okay? So, the same thing, well, yeah, so the wife talked me into repainting our kitchen this weekend. And I wasn't crazy about it at first, because our kitchen was kind of an ivory color, and she had me painted yellow. But I kind of like the color now, and she'll chime in and say, "It wasn't yellow, it was canary." Okay. And canary is a name for what color? So, what color are canaries? No one says a canary is canary color. No, they're yellow. So, but anyhow, I don't feel the necessity to say, well, you know, you're not really a filmmaker, Chrome, because there's no film in your phone. You're a digital recorder, you know. Call it what you want. The guy makes movies. He takes short stories, puts them into a film format, if you will, to make a short movie using his cell phone as a recorder. I think he's, I forget what phone he's got. I think whatever the most recent iPhone is, I think he's got the model that was previous. But, yeah, as you can tell, I'm on an S5, so I have several previous models ago. But they're up, I think they're up to 10 now, Galaxy S10. So if they're up to 10, then yeah, I'm 5 models behind. But I'm still, other than I have issues with my battery. It's not holding the charge as good as it used to. And I'm having to run it with a cord. And of course, when you got your cord in, it gets hot. Then the phone gets slow. It won't always respond properly. It won't always do what you tell it to do when you tell it to do it. And that is aggravating. But at this point, I'd rather put up with the aggravations that the phone causes than the aggravations that our laptop causes. So I'll replace the laptop long before I ever replace this phone. So anyways, the difference between Chrome and Chrome really truly is a YouTube creator in every sense of the word. If y'all don't know who I'm talking about, then you probably don't follow the van life platform. My God, Lola, I get it. Keep following the sign that says Monroe. Shut up. I swear sometimes she's as bad as Google. But, also, now she's going to chime in again just to rub it in. I feel like, what was her name? Michelle, the two Olsen twins that played the same girl on Full House. How rude.
After 2 miles, keep left.
Really? But anyhow, the difference between Chrome and I, like I said, he is, every sense of the word, he is a YouTube creator. That was pretty. If you don't follow van life, then you probably don't know who I'm talking about. People who take either a cargo van or an old passenger van and they'll turn it into a camper van. And a lot of people actually live in the van, part-time or full-time. They are what's known as van lifers. And they are living the van life. One word. So, in fact, you can go to Instagram, type in van life in the search, upper browser, whatever you want to call it, and be dished out a plethora of van life accounts to follow. All kinds of great photos and stuff. Earlier I was talking about Pinterest. If you go to Pinterest and type in van life, here on YouTube type in van life, Diamond J Casino, and
After 1/2 mile, keep left.
if I knew exactly where I was going, I'd shut the damn GPS off. I just get so tired listening to her talk. Anyhow, now Doofus back there, Stevens, he's got his low beams on. I don't know why. This is where I'd be afraid of getting pulled over by a trooper. Trooper worked the shit out of Shreveport. But anyhow,
Interstate 20 eastbound towards Monroe.
my God, woman, shut up. I'm gonna go back to get my road atlas and start looking at where I'm at to where I'm going. Choose my own route to get there, and then not turn the GPS on until I'm maybe 20 miles out. Because that's crazy. Every minute and a half. I'm on the talkative side, but if someone is talkative accuses someone else of being talkative, or in this case something else, that thing talks too much. How my wife puts up with me, I don't know. But anyhow, Chrome's channel is called Van City, one word, space, van life, one word. The idea being he lives the van life in his van in the city. A lot of van lifers are traveling. There's a lot of them that live in Arizona because the climate's a little warmer, a little drier. Not as, the humidity ain't as bad. The dampness, even when it's cold out, the dampness isn't as bad. Chrome lives in Vancouver, British Columbia, which of course is Canada. And there's a lot of van lifers in Canada. Actually, there's a lot of van lifers all over the world. And I probably follow a good portion of them. I wouldn't say half or anything like that, but I follow a bunch of van life channels. And now I gotta go back to the rain's picking up and then go back to the wipers full time. Squeak, squeak, squeak. I apologize, but like I said, this is for my safety and the ability to protect myself if need be in the event of wrongdoing from another party. Yeah, I'm over here the rain pitter-pattering on the windshield now. But anyhow, the idea is he lives in his van in the city of Vancouver. Thus, Van City, van life. I've been following him. I subscribed to him back when he was around 1,200 subscribers. And now, the last time I checked, he's over 28,000. And he's done this just slightly over a year. Right about 14 months. 13, 14 months. Gone from zero, a guy with an idea starting a YouTube channel, to 28,000. Pretty impressive. Now he didn't do it all by himself. He has had an English bulldog with him all this time. His dog Disco. That he's had Disco ever since Disco was a puppy. Disco having a surgery just a week or two, I guess 2 weeks ago, and died on the operating table. So I'm not sure what he's going to do now. I know that something happened to me. I wouldn't be in any hurry to get another dog. Man, listen to that rain. I'm doing 65. That rain is coming down. I can actually see it approaching as I hit the windshield. I don't know at what speed it's falling, but it's heading straight west, and I'm heading straight east, so the impact is that much harder. It's raining hard enough that it's falling fast enough that it's not running off the asphalt quickly enough, and therefore kind of puddling on top of the asphalt. I can feel the truck wanting to hydroplane. I I weigh 32,000 pounds empty. I got 35,000 pounds on my back. 35,000 or so. So I'm right at 67,000. 67 to 70,000. That's amazing to think that even at just 60,000 pounds, that this truck is still on a hydroplane. Popularity isn't solely due just to it's all disco. Although there are a lot of people that they leave comments on his videos. I'd see leave a comment myself, and a lot of people, their comments are like, "Say hi to Disco for me." Yeah, because Disco will be like, "Hey, cool. Tell them I said hi back." You know? A lot of people were all about the dog. And, but Chrome's got a great personality, and I believe with Disco or without, he still experienced kind of growth with his channel, experiencing maybe not as quickly. It's like, oh yeah, he'll be fine. I told him when I had heard about Disco dying after the surgery. You know, I mean, I'm an animal lover too. We've got 5 cats and 2 dogs with my wife and I. And I know that when you get attached to your critters, they're like your own children sometimes, you know. So I told him, man, I know there's nothing I can say to comfort you right now. So I'm not even going to try. And I just sent him a little something to help offset the cost of Disco surgery. And because whether the surgery is successful or not doesn't change the fact. Come on over here, big Chuck. Whether the surgery is successful or not, you still got to pay them for that surgery. So. And that's the thing about living in the van. When he started the whole idea, you know, he's living in a real nice condo. You go back and check out some of the very first videos he's ever posted. Oh man, nice condo. Pretty decent view. You know, had it going on. But the cost of living in Vancouver is so high that hey, he wasn't, in his opinion, and I agree, he wasn't getting his money's worth out of where he was living. You know, the amount of satisfaction you receive compared to the amount of money you paid to live there weren't equal. And meanwhile, you know, the higher your bills are like that, the more your cost of living is, your income is always going to stay the same. And so therefore you end up going in debt. Now, I don't know, I don't get people's business. I only know things he's talked about. So I don't know exactly what all his debt was incurred from. He finally decided to move out of the condo into the van because so many other people are doing it. You know, it's kind of a new trend. And he's going to get himself out of debt. He didn't file bankruptcy. He didn't say, you know what, screw my debtors, it's time to start all over. No, he actually moved into his van to reduce his cost of living, to pay back the money he owed his debtors. And his goal was to be out of debt in a year, and he did it. Pretty impressive. And that's what I like about him. Yeah, he's got great personality. He's a big bundle of energy. If you're ever having a bad day, you go tune into a Chrome video, because he posts videos almost every day. And when it's all said and done, all of a sudden you're feeling better regardless of whatever's going wrong in your life. He's got great personality, but the guy has got, in my opinion, impeccable character. And a lot of people anymore, they don't do anything to develop character in their life. So, you know, they just sort of exist, and whatever it is that life throws at them, they just react to it. They don't respond. They don't think it through. what's the best way to respond to this. They just react to it. Whatever happens, happens. So people who actually take the time to think things through, respond to situations in their life, and in so doing, they develop their character in the process. Those people I like to hang out with. One of my goals, and I don't think he'll ever see this or hear this because it's nobody watching right now. I don't think there's too many people that are going to go back and tune into one of these 2 or 3 hour streams of me driving in the dark. But just the same, one of my goals is when I finally get my camper van finished, the mama and I take a trip up to Vancouver just to go out so I can say I've met chrome billheads. Yeah, I mean, it'd be cool to go show off. You know, there's no two vans alike. No matter what you do, if you ever get a van and start doing that, what they call a van build, and whether you take a van and completely gut it, strip it out, or if you buy one that's nothing but a cargo van, nothing but an empty shell, and either way you're starting from scratch, and you build it into something, and a lot of it is going to be based on ideas you've seen other people do. You'll get a little something from Trenton Alley, and you get a little something from what was it, Camper Van Kevin. I ain't tuned into him in a while. He got rid of the van and got one of these ugly ProMaster Class C's, and I was like, they're not feeling it, Kevin. Anyhow, but when you watch all these different van videos, and you'll get a little bit of an idea of some of the things you like. Won't like everything. That even I think when I'm done, my van's gonna be pretty awesome. I really do. But nobody will watch those videos and like every single thing I've done to that van. Anybody, including my wife, would look at these videos and say, well, I'd have done this a little different, because I'm building it to suit me, and in doing so, anybody else who isn't me would probably do something, you know, take it in an entirely different direction, or maybe just change one little thing. I like the whole thing except for this, whatever that this is. So it's personal. Therefore, no matter how many ideas you get from anybody else's van life channel, and what they call a van tour, that's funny, because a tour is something that's really kind of covers some real estate usually. The guy like, Alexander Travel Bum. So I'm gonna give you a tour of my van. So he opens up the side door and steps in and says, okay, so here's my van. This is where my bedroom, my kitchen, my bathroom would start going on, my living room, and then okay, so let me take you up front here. This is the cab. But some people that do that, they act like they're taking on a tour of a 12-room mansion, you know. But no matter how many different ideas you get from different people's van builds, and you incorporate all those ideas into your van build, your van build will still be something different, because there's something you'll do that's going to be your own thing. And that's what makes it so different. Why there's so many van life videos and channels coming to be on YouTube, because no two vans are the same. So, but yeah, if you find stuff like that interesting, van city, van life. I know he's on Facebook, but I don't do Facebook, so I'm really not sure how to. I know you'd still use those two words, but I don't know if he's got an underscore between them or whatever else. But if you type in Van City Van Life on Instagram and YouTube, you'll find him. And like I said, even if you're not following for the van life content, just you know, he takes you through the day. It's not just about his van; it's about where he goes in the van. Is what he's presenting. And I mean, yeah, he shows this is me editing videos in my van. This is me cooking breakfast in my van. But this is me cleaning house in my van. But he's also taking us places and showing us where he's at day by day. and we're traveling with him, so to speak. You know, so I enjoy Chrome's videos a lot. His channel is one of my favorite channels out there. All right, 2 hours to go. Ugh. Now, the other night I was singing. Tonight, I don't know, my voice just, I don't think I'd be able to carry a tune to save my life tonight. That's one more reason why I need to get my iPod phone plugged in so I can start playing music and I can sing along, and then if I miss a few notes here or there, no one will notice because the music will help me cover that part up. Oh, yes. I'm Henry the Eighth, I am. Henry the Eighth, I am. I was married to the widow next door. She'd been married 7 times before, and each of them was a Henry. She can't have a Willie or a Sam. No Sam on her 8th old man named Henry. Henry the Eighth, I am. Henry the Eighth, I am. Okay, I won't even do the second verse, same as the first thing. I can't believe that song ever became a hit for Herman's Hermits. Dude, way up there. If y'all can see that top of the hill, probably not. But his 4-way's still flashing. He's back. He's outrunning me, so he's doing probably about 75. A lot of people do that. You know, it rains real hard. They'll put their 4-ways on and slow down a little bit. That way, if you come creeping up on them, you'll get a better chance, and odds are better you'll see them. No sense to do that. Visibility right now is fine, you know. Everything's a little wet. It's kind of a steady drizzle right now. I don't know how he can forget he has flashers on because there's 2 little green lights flashing on his dash right now. Plus either a beep, beep, beep or a click, 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 some sort. The flasher unit itself, or chirp, 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 or chime, chime, chime. like this has actually been pretty beneficial for me. Still talking like maybe, just maybe, somebody might actually be bored and nothing else to do with their life. Let's go see what Mike had to talk about last night. But one thing is, of course, like I said, the whole reason I'm doing this is to be able to protect myself in the event of somebody doing a brake check in front of me in the name of road rage. Another thing is that it gives people a chance to get the feeling of being behind the wheel of one of these trucks if they so desire. Tune in during the daytime for that, though. You can get to see more. But a lot of times when people fall asleep behind the wheel, and it doesn't just happen at nighttime, it happens during the day too. The reason why isn't always that they're tired or they're sleepy. See, what happens when you drive long distances, especially when you drive long distances for a living, once you get out here on the big road, you know, you don't have all the stop and go traffic anymore. There's no red signal lights to contend with. Oh, here comes some hard rain again. Eventually what happens is you get relaxed. You get behind the wheel, you get yourself situated, pull your armrest down, get in a position that's comfortable, and you get relaxed. You may or may not have heard a kind of a growling noise. That was me getting a little too close to the rumble strips upon the white line. And when you become relaxed, one of the things that happens in your body, your breathing becomes shallow. You're not taking a deep breath because it's not requiring, you're not speaking. Therefore, you're not having to keep taking oxygen in. You're not doing anything that's physically assertive. So therefore, your body is not requiring as much oxygen for it to continue to exist. So when your breathing becomes shallow, what happens is there's less oxygen being introduced into your blood. And it's that oxygen in your blood that goes to your brain and helps to keep you alert. If you slept 8 hours every night, and every day you go to work and you're well rested and everything, you know, you slept good, and then you find yourself right around 10 a.m. yawning, 10, 11 o'clock, you're yawning and having all you can do to keep them nodding off right there at your desk, or God forbid, behind the wheel of the vehicle. It's not that you didn't get enough sleep. It's that you've become relaxed at whatever you're doing, and your breathing has become shallow, and therefore you're not getting enough oxygen to your brain. So that's a good time to get up, go to the water cooler, get something to drink, go to the men's room or the little girl's room, whichever applies. And just that walking is enough physical exertion to cause you to increase your breathing and introduce more oxygen into your blood, thus more oxygen to your brain, and you will again become alert. That's why it's a good idea. They changed the law about the trucking that every 2.5 to 3 hours, basically every 3 hours or 150 miles, you're supposed to pull over and do a load check. Now, a lot of times with a flatbed, depending, especially if you have something that's like one large piece, if you have a whole bunch of stuff that maybe can settle as you drive, then yeah, you might want to keep checking your straps or your chains. But if whatever you have is one large piece, and you can tell from looking in your mirrors whether your chains and binders are loose or not most of the time, the straps. So a lot of drivers won't even bother and keep on going. Well, first off, you have to be able to log that. And secondly, it's a good idea just to get out and stretch your legs some and help get your oxygen flowing, and therefore to wake back up again, become alert. And this is why a lot of people were falling asleep behind the wheel even when they're not tired, is they've gotten relaxed. So really a big problem. But the main thing is, if you're in conversation, which is what I'm doing here, at the moment it shows no one here. In fact, I don't think this stream I started in Carthage, I don't think there's been anybody here yet. But by talking in the event that anybody does drop by, instead of just tuning into a truck driving down in the pitch black dark where you see much of nothing, there's at least something to pay attention to. You know, there's at least some kind of content besides just someone's headlight shining in the darkness. And what that does by my talking like this is it forces me to take in lots of oxygen so that I can continue talking, which that of course feeding my brain, which is keeping me alert. Whereas usually I would just be sitting here driving, I'd have my elbow on the armrest there by the driver's side door, have my head propping up, my hand propping up my head, just out of sheer boredom. And see, that's one of the worst things you can do. Because now, not only are you becoming relaxed as you drive, but now you're already in the position you need to be in to fall asleep. Oh, this guy ain't gonna like me. He kept slowing down because it rained harder. So I guess he's just overly cautious. All that water in my trailer is now flowing at him back there. Oh, he's cussing me, I'm sure of it. That'll be alright. Sometimes I cuss myself, so it's all good. But anyway, like I said, so by doing these streams like this, it's providing me legal protection. It is providing me some type of content, although like I said, this time of night it's hard for anybody to see anything. During the daytime though, a lot better. And it's giving me the ability to stay more alert and awake for a longer period of time. Good situation all the way around. So when I get this delivered, I will have completed my day and start my new day. Of course starts after I've had my break as a sleeper. And that's what I'll do. I'll go ahead and get all my electronics lined out, hooked up and everything, so I can add music to the background of these streams. There'll be less boredom for y'all. 45 record of that somewhere. Used to have my own jukebox, the genuine barroom jukebox, and a lot of miles on it. I bought it for, I think, $600. Sold it, I don't remember, 5, 7, somewhere around there. Wish I'd have kept it. I was on the road all the time, never home. I really needed the money. But it is my intention to have another. There's a website, it's just called Tuesdays, I think, Tuesdays.com. It's been years since I've been there, so it could be. And you can buy brand new virgin pressings of 45 vinyl. Now they have different kinds of genres, rock, classic rock, country, whatever. And you can buy what they call actual jukebox records, which might be Elvis Presley, Love Me Tender on one side, and U2, still haven't found what I'm looking for on the other. That was the idea how jukebox records used to be, so that you get the maximum amount of play. Because most 45s that we bought when we were kids, before the days of cassettes and 8-tracks and CDs, you would go to the store and they'd have this big, large wooden box kind of a deal that had all the records in them, and you'd go through them like going through a file folder. And then up above would be a smaller kind of a wooden box that had the 45 records in it. The problem with the 45 records that were made for consumer sales, it had an A side and a B side. So the A side was a top 40 or even a top 10 hit by a particular band or group, let's say Three Dog Night. So it had a really great song that was getting a lot of radio play that everybody liked on the A side. Then on the B side was one of those songs that you would usually skip over. A CD, you just go ahead and hit the next button. But in a cassette, you'd have to fast forward. With an LP or a 45. Well, 45 is that one song, but on an LP, you might pick the needle up and move it over to the next groove. But so anyway, yeah, it was an A side and a B side, and the B side was always something less than some of them were hits, but usually not. There was a hit on the A side and what I call filler on the B side. Whereas the 45 vinyl that was put in jukeboxes was 2 A sides, usually from 2 different groups or artists. But I'd come in off the road, and I used to barge line or towboat, be on a boat for a month or more, and I'd come home, and that's the first thing I would do. I'd go up my jukebox. Of course, I had it set where you didn't have to put no quarters in it to make it run no more. It was a 1973 Seaberg Matador. The 73 and the 74 look similar, but not. Hey, Austin, how's it going, man? And now I don't smoke, but my wife does. My wife smokes left-handed and right-handed both. Know what I'm saying? Yeah, that jukebox, so I'd come home and I would go ahead and start pressing buttons. get it where it give me about an hour's worth of music, and I'd jump in the shower and I'd be in there singing away, you know, walking around the house afterwards, just chilling, listening to music. Eventually, I want to get another jukebox. Not until we build our next home. That's when I'll get a jukebox. Now I'm driving in the rain, brother, so I really can't keep up with everything you got going on there. Yeah, I'm a trucker. I'm driving. In fact, I'm loaded right now. Yeah, if you keep the messages brief like that, I can actually read them. I'm driving 2003 Kenworth T660. Yeah, I'm being careful, man. I only glance at the screen for a second and keep on keeping on here. But the T660 Kenworth, or not 660, a T600. The new ones are the 660. This is a T600 Kenworth 2003 model. And I'm pulling a 53-foot step deck, or what we call a drop deck, behind me. And right now I'm loaded with oil field pipe and stuff of that sort. Header assemblies where they run different kinds of pipe and hoses on and off of them. I'm not sure if some of the fittings on this look like it might be for compressed air. I don't know. But it's all going to oil field up here in El Dorado, Arkansas. Yeah, that's my destination. And yeah, El Dorado, Arkansas. If you was looking at a map of Louisiana, and Monroe is kind of towards the center of the state, up towards the Arkansas state line a little ways. Somewhere straight north of Monroe, maybe a little bit to the east, a little bit to the west, but somewhere north of Monroe, Louisiana is El Dorado, Arkansas. They don't, the locals don't say El Dorado, they say El Dorado. But anyhow, yeah, I'm just doing my thing, man, trying to keep myself out of harm's way from road rage. I can't stop road rage. I can't stop someone from getting in front of me and checking up at the brakes. But at least if they do, I've got this on YouTube to prove that it was them that caused any type of an incident. Meanwhile, I'm just out here carrying on, talking. Since I've started this stream, this is my third time trying to stream this tonight. The first time my battery went dead. The second time I just lost cellular service. I was in a part of Texas where there just wasn't much of nothing there for cell service. And since I started this third time around, you're the first person to stop in. Well, you know, I've seen some of that myself, but a little more than a year ago, I was involved in a pretty horrific wreck. I was working at a different company, and there was two gentlemen in a pickup truck that basically came almost to a dead stop to make a right turn into a driveway on a 65-mile-an-hour divided highway with wide shoulders. For all intents and purposes, it's an interstate. And it never occurred to them maybe I should make my turn from the shoulder. So anyway, I had made impact with them, and the guy in the passenger seat, he wasn't seat belted, and he got ejected through the windshield. Died there at the scene before the first responders ever got there. So yeah, I've got to where I don't watch too many of those on YouTube anymore. I saw one years ago, vehicle after vehicle after vehicle coming to a sudden stop in a tunnel somewhere in Europe, and a car stopped and had all he could do to keep from hitting the straight truck, you know, single axle box van, and that had stopped in front of him in that tunnel. And then another truck rear-ended that car and pushed that car so far underneath that truck that the truck itself hit that box truck. And some guy left a comment, real hateful comment, you know, that sucks to be them or something. I think that's funny. At least it wasn't me. I'm not one to usually respond to stuff like that, but that one kind of pissed me off. And I was like, yeah, you asshole. Do the math. There's a frame holding that box up above the axle so they can put freight in there without the box collapsing. So chances are the person in that car died. And so yeah, when I got into that wreck, which I'm still going through issues with that. But that's why I've been doing these streams, just so that, God forbid, there should be something happen in front of me like that. I've got something on video to show what happened. Yeah, well, you know, there's a lot of people that just don't care, and that's the thing. Nowadays, the attitude about a lot of people, it's every man for himself. I don't care if you like it or don't like it. This is what I want to do with my life, and they don't care who else's life it impacts. You know, I'm not sure if you're in the U.S. Where are you from? Here in America, we of course we like to talk about we've got our rights, you know. And okay, so you're around Detroit. Well, so you know we like to brag about we've got the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. But the mentality of a lot of people nowadays is they've got the right to pursue their happiness regardless of what unhappiness that might put upon others. And to me, you've got the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness unless your pursuit of happiness keeps others from having their pursuit of happiness. In which case, you need to learn to make adjustments, because it can't be in the name of you going and enjoying your life having a negative effect on the lives of everybody around you. But most people don't think of it that way. So, like I said, that's the every man for himself mentality anymore. Right now I'm heading, like I said, I'm heading to El Dorado, Arkansas. It's El Dorado, but the EL and the DARDO is separate. And I am right at 90 minutes away, an hour and a half. Right this minute I am on I-20 headed east. Got too close to the white line there. I am on I-20 heading east, probably a half hour or more east of Shreveport. I'm not quite to Monroe. I get to Monroe, Louisiana, or just a little bit before Monroe, where I'll turn off to start heading up into Arkansas. Yeah, so if you're up around Detroit, that means it's 5 o'clock in the morning for you. It's straight up 4 o'clock here. And I've got right at an hour and a half driving still to go to get where I'm going. Yeah, well, I try to do a little bit of everything at midnight. Well, no, it used to be 10 hours of driving, and then you had to have 8 hours off before you could drive more. Now they give you 11 hours of driving, and then you got to take 10 hours off before you can drive some more. But the way it works, it used to be you can split that 8 hours, the 10 hours of driving up years ago. You can split it any way you want. 2 hours here, take a 3-hour nap, 2 more hours driving, take another 2-hour nap. Whatever you wanted, as long as that when it was all said and done, when you got all the driving you could do in a day, you had to take 8 hours off and then drive again, start all over. The way it is now, whatever time you start your day, imagine having a stopwatch. Whatever time you start your day, you've got 14 hours to get all the work done that you can. And during that 14 hours, no more than 11 of those hours can be driving. but you can never exceed 11 hours of driving, and you cannot exceed 14 hours on duty, whether it be driving or not driving. On duty still counts as work time. It's been raining non-stop all night. It's slowed down for a little bit, picked back up again, slow down. You said I have a cab. You mean a sleeper berth? Yeah, the truck has a sleeper berth. It's oh, I don't know if it's 64 or 72 inches. I don't know. I think it's 64 inches. Oh, it's all good. The Kenworth has basically three styles of sleepers. One is, which most truck manufacturers do. One is a flat top, one is a mid-roof, and then the other is what they call a condo. The reason they call it a condo, of course, is short for condominium, that it has the largest amount of space that you can have in a truck. It's not quite big enough to be considered a house, so they call it a condo. But basically a condo is almost as tall as a van. Your typical dry box vans are 13 feet 6 inches tall, and usually the sleeper on a truck that's a condo to the outside of the roof is 13 feet 2 to 13 feet 4 inches tall. So it's almost as tall as the trailer. Then the mid-roof is just under 12 feet, and the exhaust will usually be up to 12 feet tall. And then a flat top, of course, it's just like has a roof on it, just like a car. It's not very tall at all. Then, of course, they have different lengths. Anywhere is narrow, the sleeper might be no deeper as far as depth, talking about from the back of the cab to the back of the sleeper. And the cab is the part up here where you're driving, and the sleeper is back there where you basically live while you're out here on the road. So from the back of the cab to the back of the sleeper is the distance of the sleeper berth. So if you tell anybody it's got a 40-inch sleeper, then what you're saying is from the back of the seats, basically, to the bulkhead back there at the rear of the sleeper is 40 inches deep. Does specifically, and I think Western Star does something similar. If you look at a lot of these now, back in the day of the TV show BJ and the Bear, that's the red and white Kenworth, had the big windows of the sleeper up on the roof. That was called the Aerodyne, and they still call it an Aerodyne. But back then, it was two rectangle windows, kind of in a V formation, like how ducks fly, sloped slightly rearward toward the top, so it'd be more aerodynamic. And it put that, instead of pulling the nose of a van flat in the wind, it allowed that to slice through the wind to make room for the trailer to follow, and thus less wind resistance and thus better fuel mileage. But now, those windows aren't near as tall. They're actually sloped even steeper, which of course makes them slice through the wind even better. But instead of having that V notch in the center, now it's rounded. So inside the cab, or inside the sleeper rather, you can actually see where the roof of the cab and the roof of the sleeper meet. The roof of the sleeper is not even with the floor of the sleeper. You know, like if you had a doorway in your home, one room has carpet in it and the other room has tile, so you'll have some kind of a little piece of metal strip that basically covers up the edge of the carpet where it meets the tile floor. And then as you go up the doorway is directly above that metal strip. Well, now imagine that doorway with a metal strip runs flat across, separating the carpet from the tile. Then imagine that doorway is curved on top. And so therefore, the center portion of that header, which is the upper portion of the door, actually sticks over the carpet instead of over the metal strip where the carpet meets the tile. That's kind of how the interior of a Kenworth is if it's got the mid-roof or the condo sleeper, is that it, the top of the sleeper is actually deeper than the floor. So when you close the curtain, say like if there's two guys running as a team operation in the truck, you can close the curtain, and even though the curtain, say from about chest height down, is right at 48 inches from the curtain to the bulkhead, it might be 60 inches from where the sleeper up there by those windows in the center. It might be 60 inches from there back to the bulkhead. And so therefore, even with the curtains closed, it makes it feel more spacious. Kind of like if you ever watch Doctor Who, it's kind of like the TARDIS. It's bigger on the inside than it is on the outside. When you grew up, you want to be at Kenworth? My boss is from Australia, and he's got Kenworths, Internationals, Freightliners. I mean, we got several trucks, but most every truck he has, probably 80 to 85% of all the trucks this company owns are Kenworths. No, I don't yet, but I'm working on that, because my channel is more than just trucking. My channel, I'm a truck driver, and I'm passionate about my job, and so therefore, yeah, I represent the trucking industry, thus want to present that on YouTube on my channel. I'm also a guitarist. I'm not a great guitarist by no means, and I'm not a great singer, but I can hold my own. I'm pretty fair at it. And I put videos up there that I can help teach people who know a few chords, but they don't know what to do with those chords. I can teach people some songs that they might want to learn how to play. And then also, I'm not sure if you know what van life is, but I was talking about van life right before you jumped down here. But if you take an old cargo van or even a passenger van and you break it down to an empty shell, start from scratch and build it into a camper. And I'm in the process of doing that. So I have all these different types of content, and I guess because of the YouTube algorithm, they say you're supposed to have one channel for this content, one channel. I don't have the time to keep up with 3 different channels. Just can't do it. So I want to try to find a way to make my sticker where it incorporates all the different things my channel is about. So I haven't really sat down and worked much and got that design worked out yet, but I'm working on it. I am working on it. Exit 84, Ruston, Louisiana. Louisiana Route 544. Well, now it was telling me to get off of this exit. Now it's telling me to get off of the next exit. So I guess I'll do that. Get off here, get back on here, go 1 mile up the road, come back down. Sometimes the GPS, now see now, what the hell? The GPS every now and then is goofy. Now it can't make its mind up. I guess because of maybe the rain or something. It was telling me now to get off at this next exit and then come back to this exit. And then now it's telling me get off the next exit and just stay on that route. So it just can't make its mind up. Still getting off at Ruston, Louisiana, except this time I'll be getting on Route 167. Which if I stay on 167, it'll actually take me home. I don't live to 167, and if you follow 167 north, it'll go all the way up to Batesville, Arkansas.
They're right.
And I don't live far, about 40 miles from Batesville, Arkansas.
North Trenton Street.
Alright, well I got a stoplight here. Let me see what I've been missing here. Yeah, if you smoke weed, you'd have to, because you know you got to take the pre-employment physical, and then you'd have to pass what they call a random every now and then. The whole idea of a random drug screen is just to make sure people are staying clean.
Northbound, Highway 146, North Vienna Street. Then, they're right. US 167.
I usually carry equipment.
Highway 146, North Trenton Street.
Or one of the companies that we serve is in West Memphis, Arkansas, and they make above ground fuel tanks. Actually, they make fuel tanks above ground and in ground. The ones that are in ground are made out of steel coated in fiberglass, and the ones that are above ground are just steel, and they've got a large leg assembly at each end to hold it up. They just bolt the thing down into a concrete pad that's got threaded rebar into it. Anyway, that's what I haul mostly. Those will usually be oversized, so I can only drive during the daytime. Basically, wherever you're at, whatever the permit says. Kentucky and West Virginia will let you drive at night, but you always read your permits before you go anywhere, so you'll be legal, because you don't want to. If you get caught breaking the law and with a permit load, they'll take your permit from you, and now you have to sit and wait a whole day to have a new permit ordered. So yeah, you always want to try to behave yourself with permit loads. All right, so I'm on US 167 northbound. Yeah, I have. Well, not all permit loads need to be escorted.
After 700 feet, they're right. US 167, US 63, Highway 146, North Trenton Street. The regulation width for all commercial vehicles feet 6 inches. Well, we say 102 inches. US 63, Highway 146, North Street, towards South Arkansas.
And
49 miles.
The law allows you up to 10 feet wide without an escort. You can actually even run up anything under 10 feet. You don't even have to put flags or signs. And in some states, it changes from state to state. But most of the stuff I do is Arkansas, Tennessee, Louisiana, Texas. And anything under 10 feet wide, you still have to have a permit, but you don't have to put flags or signs. Then when you get above 10 feet or more, that's when you start getting into flags and signs, the different hours of operation, curfew. A lot of your bigger cities, you can't bring an oversized load through the city during rush hour. Then when you get to, I forget if it's 11 foot or 12 foot. I think it's 11 foot. You have, no, 12 foot. You have to have one escort. That'll be behind you on a 4-lane highway or in front of you on a 2-lane highway. And if you get above, I forget if it's 13 or 13.6 wide, then you gotta have 2 escorts, one front and one in the back. But yeah, it just all depends. Each load's different requirements. Everything's on the permit. I didn't see anybody else in here. I saw for a second there was somebody else, but the only one in the conversation has been you and me, brother. Let's see here. So it's about a 45-minute drive to the state line, Arkansas state line in front of me. And then from there, maybe right at a half hour to where I'm going. So I'm an hour and 10 minutes away. Yeah, when the GPS starts, to me it's like trying to talk with someone else talking. So whenever the GPS starts squawking, I just stop. Wait. The problem is sometimes you get roads like this that it's known by a U.S. highway designation, it's known by state highway designation. There might be 2 or 3 different routes on this same piece of asphalt, then plus the local street name, and it'll name off every last one of them, and it takes a while sometimes because that gets really aggravating. What I need to do is I need to get to where I start using the old style, the paper atlas more, so I can get loaded, pick out the route that I want to use to get up here, and then when I get close, then go ahead and turn GPS on. That way it won't be all the squawking, it'd be a little quieter. There's days it gets real aggravating. Well, this trip here, I ran into some construction on I-55 southbound through Mississippi. But that really about, and there were some on I-10 in Texas. But other than that, it hadn't been real bad. Coming back, I haven't run across any yet. So it's... If I'm oversized, the state chooses the route based on the dimensions of whatever you're carrying. The state chooses the route that you have to follow, and for if you have oversized permits. But when I'm like here, I got a legal load, I can go any way I want, and so I choose my own routes. I try to choose take whichever route seems to be whatever extent where I'm going. But yeah, I try to, if I know for a fact that there's a lot of construction in a certain area, I just try to avoid that area entirely. Sometimes the backup, especially on the interstate, I've seen traffic backed up sometimes as much as 20 miles. 2 lanes going down to 1. There's so many trucks on the road anymore. can't read that last one. Something about Michigan and Florida. Too long for me to take my eyes off the road trying to read that last one. There's no other traffic out here, but still, like, if I'm not careful, I glance away from the road too long, I can end up in a ditch or something. So oh, it's all good, man. Usually, if my wife is up, or if there's, you know, 2 or more people in the chat, I'll let everybody converse amongst themselves, and I'll just sit here and drive, and then I'll try to glance at the screen every now and then, so I can at least keep my glance away for a second. It don't help none that these headlights aren't real bright. They're adjusted okay. They're just, you know, nowadays everybody's got halogens, and actually they're not even halogens, these HD, you know, high definition or whatever they are. They're real bright, and that's what I got out of to get into this truck here. It's wet, it's pitch black dark, and it's hard to see. I'm trying not to take my eyes off the road any longer than I've got to. Sometimes just glancing in your mirror real quick is all it takes. Yeah, the rain, between the rain on the windshield and the rain on the ground makes it harder to see. The fact that the headlight white, you know, here I can hit my high, that right now, that's my high beams, and you still can barely see the road. So, of course, right here where these street lamps are, get a little bit better for a minute. I want to do, but it costs so much money. My boss will figure, you know what, you can get these old glass headlamps for what, $7, $8, and those newer style HD headlamps are like $50. So yeah, and honestly, I wouldn't want to pay that kind of money either. So, but I want to see what else is available. They make a plastic headlamp that's the exact same size as these glass headlamps that you can change up with the newer style bulbs, which aren't near as bad. The newer bulbs are like $13 a piece or something like that. But then you're still having to pay 15, 20 bucks a piece for the newer style headlamps. But the point is, if it makes my ability to do my job more safely, it's worth spending the money. So in the end, I'll probably do so. Now on a clear night, you know, say like if I was driving right now, there's no rain and the moon was out, you know, a nice bright moon, then yeah, the camera, you'd be able to see a lot. But the main thing I'm doing this though is, it's not about being able to see the road or being able to see however far ahead. It's about being able to see right in front of me 10, 20 feet if someone jumped up in front of me and locked up their brakes. You know, they get that close to these headlights, it's going to light their car up like, you know, like a spotlight on them. Plus, you know, the idea is to show them hitting the brakes like that real close in front of me. And yeah, I got my high beams on at the moment. There's no trap. Plus the asphalt changed. The asphalt's not dark black. This asphalt's got more of a kind of a gray tint to it. But the main reason I'm doing this, like I said, if someone was jumping in front of me and lock up the brakes, I've got proof on camera, you know, that it was road rage. That way they can't accuse me of tailgating them. Because if you can't prove the other guy cut you off like that, as a trucker, you'll get the ticket for following too close. Ain't that messed up? Oh yeah, get brake checked all the time, because when you jump out into traffic, you just can't get your speed up. You know, you're so heavy, and these trucks have such low gear ratios to be able to pull the weight. And so people, instead of just changing lanes to go around you, they get upset that you dared to jump in the traffic in front of them, and now you're going to end up slowing them down. And so when they finally do go around you, they get mad. Then now they're in a big hurry, but yet they have enough time to stop and mess with you and do a brake check in front of you for a couple times first. I had a guy do that to me one night twice, and you can see him weaving all over the lane where he was thinking about doing it a third time. And if he'd have done it the third time, I had every intention of running right over his ass. So I had a witness in another truck right behind me. I wasn't going to be too worried about it. By 5:30, which would be 6:30 your time. And when I finally get up there, I'm going to take me a nap. Getting sleepy. Driving at night, you know, most people, of course, are asleep right now. But for me, first off, I've always been an insomniac. Even as a kid, I'd be up all night and then try to sleep at school during the day. And with me, there's less cars on the road at night. There's less traffic, whether it be cars, trucks, or otherwise. There's less cops out at night. Of the cops that are out there at night, there's less of them that give a damn. You can be doing 5-8 mile over the limit. A lot of times they'll just let you slide by. In the summertime, there's no sunlight blinding you, although the bad part about that is you got the people with their headlights blinding you. If you're driving into the sun, though, that's worse than anybody's high beams. I-40 westbound driving into the sunset across Arizona and New Mexico, oh man, killer. So hell, starting all the way as far as Oklahoma all the way to Arizona. So a lot of times at nighttime, you know, there is no sun blinding you. It's not going to get, the air conditioning doesn't have to work as hard. Your tires don't get as hot, so you have less risk of getting a blowout at higher speeds. There's all kinds of good reasons to drive at night. Of course, now at night you gotta be careful because you got the deer. The deer stay away from the road during the daytime. At night they come right out to it. And you just, I had a truck a while ago. I was driving a white T660. Looks similar to this. Most of the videos that you might see of that white truck with the gray interior, that's the truck I was in before this one. And a deer jumped, an 8-point buck jumped right out in front of me. And folded the bumper in half and broke it, creased the radiator in half. And the radiator in these things is like $1,000, super expensive. And so that's, you know, that's kind of the risk of driving at night. But I still rather drive at night and take my chances with the deer. The deer are more predictable than all the people in the cars around you in the daytime. I'll drive at night and then nap in the early morning, either before or after I get unloaded. Then when they dispatch me to another load, I'll go get that load, and then after I get loaded, I nap again. And then I get up, usually I wait get it loaded, get a nap, wait till rush hour traffic is over, and then I'll get up and drive all night long. Deer can be unpredictable sometimes, but I've noticed here lately they're right on the side of the road. They're standing in the grass, but they're right there alongside the asphalt, and they'll just lift their head up while they're grazing. And of course, deer don't have nothing on them reflective, so you don't see them till it's too late to change lanes. There's put some distance between you and them. They'll just lift their head up, look at you, and then drop their head and go right back to eating. Whereas years ago, they'd automatically freak out, the headlights coming at them, and they'd charge right in front of you. From the side? Wow. Sometimes you just can't win. If you stop for them, you're at risk. If you hope they won't bother you and keep on driving, you're at risk. You just don't ever know what they're going to do. I mean, any animal is actually kind of unpredictable. But the way some people drive, I think I still rather take my chances with the deer. Yeah, that's kind of the given everywhere you go. Until you get to the bigger cities, people drive 5 over on the interstate. Sometimes they do 10 over. But when you get to the bigger cities, like especially Chicago, Atlanta, Houston, Dallas, they'll do 15 and 20 over the limit like nothing. It's crazy. When I drive anymore, I've got to where I've paid so much money in fines and fees over the years for speeding or this or that. I've got to where I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna take my time. And a lot of times my dispatcher tries to, and she'll be like, you need to do whatever it takes. That load's got to get. Well, if they want it there at 5 o'clock, they're sure as hell gonna want it when I get there first thing in the morning. I'm not going to drive like a maniac and get speeding tickets that are going to be on my license that I have to pay. Now, if the rule was you're out here doing this job on your boss's behalf So every speeding ticket you ever get is going to go against his license instead of yours. Then it'd be a different story. I'll drive anyway I want. But since it's going to go against my license and the money to pay it has to come out of my pocket, I don't know. I ain't doing that. I'll do what I got to do to try to make time on paper, make it all work. But what we call our truckers, we call our coloring book. But as far as driving like a maniac, no, ain't doing it. Door to the bumper, every bit of 8 feet or more. Anyway, it was a fast car. And I see one night just what she would do. We had put a pretty good souped up engine in it. And I took that thing out on a 2-lane road somewhere in the general area of Joliet, Illinois. And I opened that thing up, I think I was doing about 125 miles an hour. And I drove down that road probably maybe 10, 15 miles doing that. Never thinking about what if a deer jumped out in front of me, or what if there's a cop sitting on the side of the road in the dark. I'm going to go to jail for doing that kind of speed. When I finally turned around, I thought I better behave myself. The speed limit was 55, so I'm doing more than double. And I'm trying to do 55 on my way back. Every time I look down at the speedometer, because I was so used to driving that speed for them 15 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever it was, that I keep on creeping the speed back up without knowing it. Because, you know, back then cars didn't have cruise control. So I had to actually get out of the car, walk around for a minute, just kind of slow myself down so I can get back in there and keep my speed right around the speed limit. Yeah, I'm not saying I'd never, you know, nobody builds a car with a street engine like that and then takes it to a racetrack to see what it'll do. You just find some street that doesn't have a lot of traffic in it and hope to God the cops don't get you. Yeah, I guess I've lost you. It says that I was lagging. Yeah, I'm coming back into another storm, and I'm getting closer to the Arkansas line as we go. So I'm probably to the point that I'm about to change towers, or just lose my signal entirely, because it's all pretty thickly, densely wooded on the Arkansas side. There's a lot of forestry going on there. I don't think there's a lot of good cellular service. Which, of course, without cellular service, I can't transmit. But if you're still hearing me, man, you have a good day, okay? I've got 30 miles and 41 minutes to go to be at my destination. Man, y'all see all them deer sitting there on the side? I should have had my high beams on. Maybe to see them better. There must have been about 5, 6 deer there on the shoulder. Right off the shoulder there in the grass. Rewind this, go back here about 60 seconds or so. And it looked real faint because I had my low beams on. But yeah, there was a whole bunch of deer right there on the side of the road. Surely, if nothing else, their eyes were glowing in the light.